G'day everyone. Welcome back to Fly Fish Live. Not really Fly Fish Live, but we have got an exciting show tonight. We have André Gomes from Team Portugal. He's actually the youngest uh, team member for Team Portugal, going to his first ever World Fly Fishing Finals. And let's get him on right now. We'll just get him up here. Andre, mate, how are you, buddy?
How are you?
Good, thanks, man. So you're down there in Portugal. Whereabouts in Portugal are you?
Yes, I'm living in Covilhã. It's in the center of Portugal, near the highest mountain that we have in here in Portugal.
Yeah, and you're all pumped up about the World Championships.
Yes, I'm very excited to be in this team and can participate in this World Championship. I think it will be a great experience for me and for other teammates that will go for the first times. And it's very exciting to go to a world fly fishing where the scenarios are a little bit similar to our rivers. So we hope that the world fly fishing goes well.
Awesome, mate. And all right, let's. We've had a couple of questions come to us earlier earlier on. The first question is how long have you been fishing for, and how long or how did you get introduced to fishing?
Well, I had a hunt that
Do we have? I think we might have lost him. All right. Can everyone hear me? I think we've just lost him for a second. We'll just get him back on.
oh,
Here he
sorry.
is. No, he's back.
Sorry. I don't know if you heard me, but as I'm told, uh, I had a hunt that took me with my cousin to fishing for the first time when I was like 5 or 6 years old. My father or grandfather they don't fish, so I cannot know what fishing was. I had the lucky that my uncle fished sometimes at the sea, but they he never took us to fishing with him. But then when I was like 13, 14 years old, I found by lucky my fishing rod at my house. And I think why not try fishing again? Uh, and that time it was not easy. One tackle shop that we have here in Covilhã, the guy helped me a lot and explained me a lot what to do. But as you can imagine, it's not the same being in the water with you and explaining to you, and you can see, or a person who only talks and you have to explore by yourself. But then the internet get me a lot of uh, learning that I can get from internet, and was a great tool for me to understand more and know how to fishing.
Awesome, mate. And what sort of like when you were looking at the internet, was it YouTube videos or did you have a idol or someone that you really like to watch on the internet? And
No, I started by finding some blogs that in that time was very popular and some forums where people discuss about fishing. Um, and yes, some videos on YouTube explaining how to fish. But in that time, I didn't understand a lot of English, for example, and it's very was very hard to find some videos in Portuguese or in Spanish in that time explaining how to fish.
Cool, man. So that's a good little tip for anyone that wants to start out fishing and they don't have anyone else to go and talk to, um, especially over in your area in Portugal there. When when did so how long ago was it that you took up fly fishing?
Yes, it was also probably almost at the same time when I decided to fish again. Curiously, I found a video about fly fishing for carp that was made by a Portuguese fly angler, José Rodrigues, and completely fascinates me the way that he fish. The part of imitating the flies and try to imitate the food that the fish wanted for me is like fantastic. And then was not the part when I start because it's very hard for a person starting fly fishing alone. But by lucky, in my hometown, we have here a fly fishing association that doesn't exist nowadays. And they did a lot of meetings at the lakes of Serra da Estrela. So it was when I started to fly fishing and when they introduced me to fly fishing. Um, I bought some flies at the local store that was very like archaic flies. This was not very good flight, but they catch fish, and it was like a trigger for me to embark in this adventure of fly fishing.
Awesome. Well, we'll go. G'day, Graham. Graham's on there online. If you guys have any questions that you want to ask Andre, drop them in the chat and we'll try and get those questions over to him. Now, mate, I've got a couple more questions here. How long have you been competing in fishing competitions? And is it only fly fishing that you've been competing in? Have you been competing in any other competitions, any other style of fishing?
Yes, I have only competed in fly fishing, although it was a truly lucky that I ended up here because when I was 19 years old, I wanted to enter in the trout spinning competitions because it was like a sport that I already had some knowledge of it. So I think I can get some chance to compete. But then, by lucky, one teacher of mine convinced me to enter in a fly fishing competition with his son. So I started in the national championship, and I didn't know how to fly fish. I almost not didn't know how to cast. And just to give you an idea, I went to that competition with only the hare's ear nymph, and I didn't know what I was doing. But I think the competition gave me a lot of knowledge and was the desire that I really like competing. So I think the competition give me a lot of um, how can I say this willpower to learn more and desire to grow more. So the people, we are not a lot of people in competition, so it's almost like a family. I know that exist some problems in our competition, but the people are so few that is they still help the youngest to introduce them to fishing.
Awesome.
And curiously, the first competition that I went was in the Mondego River. It was the same river that I started fishing at the age of 5, 6. So somehow the Mondego have some connection with me.
Is that your favorite river?
No, no, it's not, but it's a really, really great river.
Nice. We've got Jonas. Jonas is on there, says hi, and he'll see you in France. I think we might have nearly lost him again. No, there he is. He's back. No, he's dropped out again. But I'm sure he'll be back any second. But while we're waiting for him, we've got some exciting news that here he comes. We'll
Can you hear
we'll
me?
tell you,
Sorry.
and that we've got you back now, mate. But we'll let everyone know about that exciting news very shortly. But yeah, we'll continue. Um, is there over there? Someone's asked, is there many rivers and lakes to fish over there in Portugal? And what are the rules for licenses when if someone wants to come there and go fishing?
Yes, there is many rivers and lakes in Portugal. It depends of what kind of species that you want to fish. For example, if you want to fish for trouts, in general terms, we only have trouts from the Tagus River upwards. Um, the north region of Portugal is very rich in rivers with a lot of trouts. But for example, in terms of lakes, we have some lakes that have trouts, but they only open when the trout season starts. So I think it's not the best way to manage this kind of fishing situation, because the people want to go to the river because in the other years when the season closed, they can't fish in the rivers. And the lakes can offer that kind of situation when you can fish in the rivers. But some of the lakes that you can go fishing in the trout season ends, they don't have a lot of trouts or even don't have any trout. So you have to target other species.
And what about the fishing licenses? Is with the fishing license there in Portugal, do you just buy one license and that covers the rivers and lakes and all species, or is there different licenses for different things?
Yes. For example, in other countries, this kind of question is very easy because you can get your license online. In Portugal, unfortunately, that doesn't happen. If you are Portuguese, you can buy your general license at the ATM. But if you are a foreign fisherman, you have to go to a local institution that is called ICNF and get your license there. But then you have other problem. That local just is just open during not it's not open during the weekend. So if you come here
Okay.
during the weekend, you can buy a license to go fishing. Yeah, it's very very bad for the
Wow.
tourism here in Portugal. Uh,
The-
and then some rivers are managed by some clubs. So you have to have that general license, and you have to get a specific license for the day that you go fishing. And that license sometimes you can get at coffee shops and city councils, but you 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 already have to have that general license. You cannot have the specific license if you not have the general one. I don't know if you understand what
I,
I.
I think I'm understanding, and I think a lot of people might understand that one, but that seems like it's pretty tough
Yeah,
going. I wonder how people cope if they come there on a Friday night and want to go fishing Saturday.
it
Might
doesn't
make
make
it.
sense because it's more easy for me to get a license to go fishing, for example, in Norway from here. Then I can get a license to go fishing in a river that is like 1 kilometer from my home. It's very bad for the tourism in Portugal, and I think the government don't see the fishing as a possibility for bringing tourism to Portugal.
Yeah. Well, that's I think, and the fishing over there is quite good. From previous discussions,
Sorry.
the fishing
Can
over there is you said it's pretty good fishing there.
Um, well, we have a lot of different kind of species here in Portugal. I think it's a good point that we have. We also have some unique species that only exist in the Iberia Peninsula. And one thing that can get some points for us was like our wild brown trouts are 100% wild. So uh, it's not a typical situation that you get in other countries in Europe. So I think that kind of situation that we only have wild brown trout is very good for us.
Cool. We've got Jonas is asking if he's not wrong and he hasn't mixed up the people. Um, were you in Norway in the world in the European Championships? Did he meet you there? And if you were, did you like the competition in Norway?
Yes, I meet Johan in Norway. Yes, it was really amazing for me to fish in Norway. Uh, for my personal like, I really like nymph fishing and with a strong currents. So the Norway can give me that, can give me like big rivers with strong currents. Sometimes it was a little bit scary because you almost don't feel your feet on the ground, but was amazing because you can get like railings over 40 centimeters very often, and they pull hard with that current. So it was really good for me.
Awesome. We've got Vam Zeeb from Alaska. G'day, mate. Right over there in Alaska. Drop in the chat. Tell us where you're from. Be interested to know where you guys are from that are watching. Mate, we've got a few more questions here. Now, I believe you're guiding now in Portugal. Is that right?
Yes, it is true. I'm trying to investing in this field because in this time I'm unemployed. So as it was my passion of fishing, and I really like fishing and guiding. I also have some experience of guiding. So I'm now trying to invest in this field. And I think we here in Portugal, as I told you before, we had a lot of potentially get some tourists here uh, by our different kind of species that we have here, and also for our brown trouts.
Nice. And with your guiding stuff, are you going to be offering it all over Portugal, or is it going to be just in one area? Or
Yes, I will try to offering the parts where I know very well. For example, I know a lot of rivers in the north of Portugal and in the center of Portugal. So that will be my focus on offering that guide service. But I also want to explore the other kind of species. I will try to get some people to go fly fishing for carp, for example. That I know some places in the south of Portugal that are excellent for that.
awesome. I might have to join you one day. I've never caught one. I'll have to have a crack at it. But we've got, Jonas said, did you like Norway?
Yes, very very much.
Very much. We've got
Very.
Matthew watching from BC, Canada. Um, Jonas also asked, what do you think the hardest place to fish on the world's in France? Have you fished France a lot?
No, I never fished in France. I think the hardest part for us as national team, as and for me individually, will be at the lake fishing because we are not we don't have many knowledge about that kind of fishing. We don't do that here in Portugal. We don't have that kind of situations that allow us to train that kind of situations. So I think will be the hardest part for us to fish. As for example, in the European Championship that we had here in Portugal last year, the sector of the lake, that lake we cannot fish there. So was our first time fishing there almost at the month before when they allow us to train there, the people that participate in the European. So it's very very bad for us, and I think it's not our strong point.
We've got we've got Matthews asking, is there any steelhead over there?
No, we don't. We have some rainbow trouts, not in the rivers, but in some lakes we have some rainbow trouts. But the government don't like very much that kind of species because in our country it's an invasive species. Although there is no study that prove that rainbows can reproduce here in Portugal. In other hand, for example, the government allow the bass fishing a lot and get some different kind of treatment to that kind of fish. For the rainbow trouts, they don't feel the same and they don't care about the rainbow trouts.
So let's get back to your guiding. When when does the season start there? What's the sort of window for if someone wants to get hold of you and come over and get you to take them on a guiding trip?
Yeah, for trout fishing, it starts tomorrow, 1st of March.
Okay. Yep.
But it ends at 31 of July. But in some rivers that are not for trout fishing, but they have some trouts, you can go there fishing like in September and in October. Although it's not for trouts, but you can catch some trouts by chance.
Is it possible? Here's a question. Is it possible with this license and stuff that you're saying it's quite hard to get on a weekend? Is it possible for you to go and get something for a client if someone's flying over to meet you and they don't get in till Friday night? Are you able to go and purchase that for them so they've got it when they get there?
Yes, I'm able to do that. That one kind of service that I want to offer to my clients.
Awesome. That'll make things a lot easier, I think.
Yeah.
Is there is there is there many like guys and girls sort of your age that's getting into fly fishing or fishing in general over in Portugal?
Unfortunately, no.
Right.
There is no a lot of youngest guy that want to enter in the fishing or fly fishing sport. I think it's like the people still believe that fishing is a boring sport and is just sitting and waiting for the fish to come, and they don't know that exist a lot of different kind of fishing techniques, uh, like fly fishing, that is more dynamic to a person who practice this kind of fishing. And by other hand, I think our rivers are very technical for a person who wants to first time fly fishing, for example. And we still have like a small window for fishing for trouts. Um, for example, for largemouth bass, you can fish all over here, all over the year, and you have a lot of dams that was built some years ago, and they continuously build and destroy the habitat that we have for the trouts. And then it's more easy for a person go to a tackle store and buy some bait and cast that bait. Even if they don't know how to cast, they can still cast further than if you do with a fly rod, for example. And it's in some waters that we have here in Portugal, it's very easy, for example, to catch largemouth bass over 1 kilo. So I think the people start to go much more to that kind of fishing and attract a lot more younger generation to that kind of fishing.
And then
One thing that can change this is that we have to change the mentality that we have in fly fishing. The fly fishing have a strong connection with trouts, but we have to catch other species with this technique and show the people that we still catch a lot of fish and good fish with this technique, and probably it can bring more people to fly fishing.
cool. That's a pretty good point actually. Graham's Graham said if he went over there, you wouldn't get him off the beach. I suppose all the younger ones are into their football over there.
Yeah, I think the football is only the sport that exists in Portugal. The other sports are like a mirage. But we are working on that. I can give you an example. Last year, organized a tournament, a fly fishing tournament with a friend of mine, uh, and the people have to form like a team of two anglers, and they can fish by 45 minutes 3 times, and the other 3 times they are controlling. And during that day, we caught more than 993 fish
Wow.
and no trouts. Although the classification was made by not measuring the fish, but by species. The trouts have can give you 5 points, but no one caught any trout. So the other species that were caught worth another kind of points. For example, barbels and nays can give you 3 points, and the other species only 1 point. But was a lot of fish that we caught, and for sure it was a catch and release event. And I
Did
think the people like to fish another kind of species.
did they have to measure the fish, or is it just get the
No, no,
fish in the
no.
net?
Just get the fish in the net, and then the controller identify the species, and they can release the fish.
Release. Oh yeah, cool. That sounds pretty cool. Is there many girls fly fishing over there?
No, I don't know any girl that fish here in Portugal, but probably in bass fishing can exist some girl that fish. Uh, we still are not a country that have a culture of fishing like other countries. So it's not easy nowadays to have some girls at this sport.
We've got Graham's asked the question, how much is the annual state license in Portugal?
For a Portuguese person is 20 euros. But if it was for a foreign, if I'm not wrong, is 25 euros for 7 days. It's not
Okay.
very good for for the tourism.
For, okay, is there longer options than 7 days? Is there
Yes, that exist longer options. For example, 1 year I think is 50 euros.
okay.
They pull a different kind of price.
Oh yeah. Cool. Hope that answered your question, Graham. He's probably going to book a trip with you soon, I reckon.
I hope
Um,
so.
make sure you get hold of Andre if you want to go and fish in Portugal. Kickstart his guiding trips off. Now, mate, making the national team, it's a big honour to represent your country. And first, congratulations with that. Does the trip get funded by any way, like cover expenses by the World Championships or organisation, or does the Portugal government chip in with anything for national teams?
Yes, thank you very much. And it is indeed a great honor to be able to represent my country. In terms of expenses, our federation only pays our registration for the World Championship. So during the training days before the World Championship, we have to pay by ourselves, or even the trip that we have to go there. It's very hard to find some help, but sometimes our city councils can give us some support. But I can give you this example. Last year in the European Championship, I'm from Covilhã, where the European was, and my city council didn't get me any support to participate in the European. So it was not easy. We had a lot of expensive. We have a lot of expenses by, for example, buying fly lines or leader or tippets, and we for sure had to tie a lot of flies to compete in these kind of situations. Um, and it's not easy to find support to 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 go to this kind of these championships.
Is there like what sort of cost is it? Like I suppose everywhere is different, every team's different depending where it's going to be, but is the cost sort of a out of your pocket? Is it like 500 euros, 1,000 euros, 2,000 euros? Is it like if
It depends. It depends about our expenses. For example, in Norway, it was very hard because a lot of things was very expensive, and we didn't get a lot of support to go there. But I understand our federation that they don't have like a lot of money to give to the athletes. But by other hand, I think our federation needs to help us to get sponsors or to talk with the city councils or some companies to try to find some help, uh, and they don't do that. So I think our federation, at the end, doesn't not value us by our work. So yes, that kind of money that we have to put into it, it depends what we are doing.
do you personally have any sponsors? Like does the team members do you personally have any sponsors as personal sponsors?
No, not in this time, and it's not easy. It's a little bit crazy for us to go to a national championship here in Portugal. We have a lot of we have, for example, problems to get some support by some companies. But the last year, we have some sponsor from a company that one of our teammates work, so it helps a lot. And we also have some discounts by Rodani, by Etish. But I think that kind of situation is not like a real sponsor. It helps a lot for sure, but it's not a real sponsor.
So if there's anyone out there that wants to sponsor the youngest team member in the Portugal fly fishing team, now's the time to jump on board. When's the actual World Championships? In June, isn't it?
Yes, at 22 to 30 of June.
Yeah. And how's the training going?
Now it's a little bit complicated for us to training. As I've told you before, we don't have like legs where we can train now. So it will be very hard for us to go to a world championship where two scenarios are like fishing. But I try to go to the river when I can, even if I know the fish are now a little bit lethargic and don't feed. I think it's good for us to practice our drifting. And sometimes I go to the grass field and do a lot of casting drills, and also practice my casting for can have some good technique as possible to when I go to lake fishing.
And what's what is the main sort of When you just say if you go to the grass field to do some casting practice and stuff like that, is there anything else that you do for training that's not on the water? Like I've seen people, um, seen young guys in the USA, they stick a sock or something on the fly and they fling it into the net. But I believe um, the rules might have changed on that one actually. Is that true? About
Uh,
flinging fish into the net, or
uh, I'm not quite sure what was. Can you?
yeah.
Uh,
So when you catch a fish, you have to sort of bring it and just drag it into the net. You can't throw it out of the water and catch it. Is that right?
I'm not sure about that. Um, but I can search about that. Maybe the rules change. One thing that I know is when you catch the fish, you have to go with the fish with the net on the water and not holding the net above the water when you are going to the controller to measure the fish.
Yeah.
But that situation, I don't know.
So what's your strengths, mate? What is it? Is it like the lakes or the rivers?
Not for sure. The lakes are not my strength. Uh, the rivers, yes, we have a lot of fly fishing here in Portugal, and some scenarios that we have here in Portugal, you almost dry fly fishing only. You can throw like nymphs or wherever, but the fish don't eat that. So I think our strength will be like dry fly fishing. But the Iran nymphing is a very good technique, and you get a lot of fish. And I think in the championship will be a must technique that we need to use.
Do you have a favorite fly? And is it the fly that you always use? Doesn't matter where in the world you go. Is it, or do you always try and read up and see what everyone else is using, or do you just stick to your one gun fly when you go fishing?
One thing that I try almost all of the seasons is when I start the season, I create a new pattern that I want to try. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, okay. So I don't do it anymore. So I have some personal flight that I really like to use like Perdigon nymphs, that I'm really confident on that kind of flies. But for sure, the natural ones are really good and work in every river of the world. And the pheasant tail is one of the patterns that it must exist in our box.
Cool. And we've got Graham's here. He said, no, it's not allowed anymore. The fish must be at least glided into the net, or you at least must attempt to glide the fish into the net. Thanks for that,
Okay.
Graham. um, mate, what? Tell us your biggest fish. What's the biggest fish you've ever caught?
Uh, At fly fishing, probably it was a carp. It was over 5 kilos. I know it's not.
5 kilos.
Uh, I know it's not like a big carp. We have here really big carps. The carp fishing here they got like carps over 20 kilos. So this carp is a baby carp. But we still very strong. It was very hard to bring the fish to the net.
5 kilo. That's a monster, I reckon. But
Yes.
So, mate, and so you're starting your guiding as of anyone can come guiding, say from tomorrow onwards. Have you got any bookings yet?
No, I don't have any bookings yet, so feel free to contact me if you want.
And
And
what's the best way to contact you?
probably by Instagram. I can. You can search for my name on Instagram. Is André Fly Fishing, André Gomes Fly Fishing, and you can find me there and contact me.
Yeah, we'll put a comment. Uh, we'll put a post up after this for anyone that is interested to head to Portugal and get Andre to take him out um, on a guiding trip. We'll give you the contact to get hold of him. But mate, I'm looking forward to you in June. See how you go. Must be quite exciting. And the rest of the guys, are they been before? Has everyone else been to the World Championships before? Are you the only one that's going to be the first time, or?
No, more two of them will be their first times too. So it's exciting to be part of a team that we have some people that have some experience in this kind of championships, and also we have some team members that is their first time.
Cool. Now just to let everyone know, on Monday, we will be crossing live to some guys over in France. We'll be crossing Monday to Pierre Kuntz, Thierry, and Antoine. They'll be joining us Monday evening. It's 8:30 p.m. France local time, so it's basically 1 hour earlier than what we were tonight. So make sure you join in for that one as well. If you've got any questions, we'll be having a chat to them about how the preparation's going and the venues and things like that. And also, we have some exciting news that starting tomorrow, we have the global we have a global fish coin community. Now, if you join the community, you can scan that QR code that's on screen right now. You'll be hearing a lot more about this, but if you scan that one, I do believe that Andre is offering 10% discount for any fish coin community members. Is that right, mate?
Yes, it is
Awesome.
true.
Awesome. Now, there's going to be some awesome benefits with the community as well. So make sure you check it out. You'll hear a lot more about that tomorrow and over the next few days. So stay tuned for that one. And has anyone else got any questions? We've got okay, someone said 22 euros for all country, but trout only centre to the north for Graham. Romeo. Thanks, Romeo. Thanks for that one, buddy. Yeah, mate. Well, thank you very much for your time tonight, and we're looking forward to seeing you on the river, and we might even try and catch up with you one day when you are on the river and send you a link. You can tell us a little bit about the fishing in Portugal and show us how it's done.
Yes, thank you very much, Josh, for your invitation, and I hope everyone like this show. And feel free to, if you are interested to come to Portugal to try fly fishing, feel free to contact me.
Yeah, and make sure if you're watching on YouTube at the moment and you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button for us. We're on our way to our first 1,000 subscribers, and we've got some awesome shows coming up this year on YouTube. So stay tuned for that one. And mate, we'll let you go now, and we will see you again very soon. Thanks everyone for watching, and tight lines.
Thank you very much.